Hafade Gentiro, and I welcome you to another episode of our reflection this Sunday, 5th Sunday in Ordinary Time. In our first reading today from the book of Job, you may be familiar with the story of Job. Job experienced great suffering in his life. He was once got everything he needs in life, but all he has were taken away from him, including his family. He basically lost everything. He was miserable. But in the midst of his loneliness and suffering, his faith remained strong. Not a moment during his suffering will he question God or complain to God. He never turned away from God. Job's faith remained strong. Job's story remind us that sometime in our lives we may face challenges. We will experience great sufferings. May it be the loss of a job and remain unemployed, a loss of a loved one in our families. We will experience strategies or suffering in our lives. And during these times, we may feel that God is not paying attention to our needs. We lose hope. We may feel that God is so distant from us. We may even question of what we hear in the scripture, that God will never abandon us or leave us orphan. And we may ask, why am I experiencing all of these? My brothers and sisters, the truth is, God never abandoned us. God always with us, especially in the midst of our suffering of any sort, and He will never left our side. We just need to remain faithful like of Job. In our second reading from St. Paul to Corinthians, Paul reminds us of our calling and obligation to proclaim the good news. And by the virtue of our baptism, we become a bearer of the good news, and we should never get tired or be ashamed to share the message of the gospel to everyone we encounter. And in our gospel today, this Sunday, we are reminded that our everyday life may be hectic or busy, but when we are busy, we may feel that there is no more room to take a break or pause and breathe. We are focusing so much on the job to bring it to completion. But we are reminded that in spite of our busyness, we must set aside a time to pray and reconnect with the Lord. That's what Jesus did in our gospel today. Mark narrated to us that Jesus, and I quote, rising very early before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place where he prayed, end quote. Jesus, in the midst of all he was doing, healing of the sick, driving out demons, and people continued to press on to him, he always find time to reconnect with the Father. Jesus is showing us the importance of prayer, that we must make time to pray and reconnect with the Lord. So what message can we take away from all these three readings? The first reading, second reading, and the gospel. For us is to always remember that our God is the most powerful and He can provide everything for us. He will never abandon us. He is in control of our lives. We just need to have faith, remain faithful to God. May God bless you.